Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and I've not had any naughty incidents of rude people today. All good. Yeah, no wobbles today. So how are you guys? Melting if you're from the UK? Probably, I would say. It is another scorcher, another really hot day. So yeah, not liking hair right now. So it's going, I've even got a clip at the back keeping any stray bits from coming across my face and annoying me. So we've been outside actually. I hope I didn't get kind of burnt around the back a little bit because I was sitting on my egg chair. When we shouldn't be here, we were going to go visit my son, but it didn't happen. So Gary said, "Oh, what are we going to do with ourselves now then?" So I said, "Well, what do we normally do with ourselves? We'll figure it out." And then all of a sudden, the phone rang, and Gary's brother Melvin and Les and her daughter Shelley and her daughter Piper were all coming down. So they went to the went to Laysdown and went in the arcades and did that bit first. But apparently, it's very windy there, where the sea is. But even though the sea's over there, it's not here. It's quite a bit of a sun trap. So go at the front. It's a nice cool breeze, but that's all it is. It's not windy. So yeah, we sat outside, had a few drinks, like cups of tea. I had tea, but I've got one of these now. One of those. Yum. So if you look at Joan, she's looking very very cool. Very cool is Joan today. She's got my sunnies on. Those are my new ones, so she better look after them. That's all I can say. Got them not so long ago so that we could take them on holiday. And when I got them, I didn't wear them once until we went away. It was like I got to keep them for best. Yet they're just sunglasses, So I wore my old ones, which I've got two pairs of. So, and do you think I can ever find any of them? No, they're always lost. Always lost. So what have I been doing with myself apart from chatting and drinking copious amounts of tea? And speaking of tea, it was this tea. I managed to get some more of this. Oh my God, guys. This is incredible. I absolutely love this. Now, when they bring out new teas, I'm always a little bit, but not this time. This is just astonishing. It's gorgeous. Sticky Toffee Brew. Oh my God. And as you know, I don't have any milk in my tea and I don't have sugar, but it is fantastic. I love it. It's not been in the shop since, not had any of it left. So I did get a few things because we had to pop to the shop. And so I got some of these for my shop because, as you know, I might know if you've ordered from me in the past, I put these things in people's orders along with a tea bag. It's a shame these are not wrapped. I think, if they were to individually wrap these tea bags, I could put some of these in. I'd have to wrench them from my grasp because I really love them so much. You'd be like, the precious. So yeah, I've got some of these for my orders. And then while I was in Poundland, they had some new colour yarn. And I thought, well, they've had blues before in the streamers, but this one is different. It's kind of new blue. So as you know, I like a bit of blue. And I thought, okay, I'll get 6. So if I don't use them, I'll put them in the shop as a yarn bundle because that's what I do. With the bright one, the one I love. That's in my shop as the bright bundle. They call it bright pink. Silly name. But these are really nice. They've got the grey and the blues and white. Really, really nice. I like these. Now, the one they had before was much darker. But yes, I've got 6 of these just to give them a try. See what they're like. They had some of the pink ones, which they've had for a long time. And then they had Aran yarn that was purple and other colours, and they had a couple of balls left of the kind of like bitty rainbow, not the long, not like the one I use, different one. Actually, it's the one that I made my well, you know, I do the Mosaic Granny Squares. I don't know if you've seen them, but the one I did with the Modern Granny Square, that's what I use. If I can think about it, I will put a link to that tutorial. You know, when the 4 videos come in, I'll put a link to that. If you haven't seen it, it's quite unusual. I was the very first person to do a tutorial for that, and I've seen a few other people do it since, but I was the first one. It was my idea. So and because it's the modern granny and it's not in between the stitches, it really is different. So what I'll do is I'll put it up here right now. But if you do watch it, come back and see me again. So I'll do that. Just bear with me a second because I need to see 6 minutes in. Just got to remember that because otherwise I'll be searching. Where did you do that? So yeah. Anyway, this is the raspberry ripple flavour one. So good. Getting a few drinks that I really like at the moment. Nom 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 nom. I'm running out of it as well. And Piper had one. She had my precious. Okay, so jokey time and Mandalorian calendar time. I wonder what the picture will be today. It's got a little Grogu and a Mando. Look. Oh, I want one. I want a real one. The one that does all the actions would be good enough for me, you know. Just want one. Want one. So cool. I love little Grogu. Right. Let's do the joke. Oh, so yeah, so hot, man. It really is. Crazy, crazy, crazy temperatures. And it's spring. It's usually cold about now. And we're going, oh, when's it going to start? When are we going to get any spring weather? That's usually what happens about now. Not now, though. Not now. It's like, right, this is a big one. Dolly, Parton and King Charles happens to arrive at the pearly gates on the very same day. They were greeted by an angel who explained that, due to a paperwork mix-up, there was only one opening available in heaven that afternoon, I'm afraid. I'll have to decide which one of you gets in, said the angel. The angel turned to Dolly and asked if there was any special reason she should be admitted. Dolly smiled, took off her top and said, look at these. They're 2 of God's most perfect creations, and I'm sure it will please to be able to see them every day for eternity. The angel thanked her politely and then asked Charles the same question. Without saying a word, the king walked over to the restroom, pressed the handle and flushed the toilet. The angel immediately turned and said, Your Majesty, welcome to heaven. Dolly stared in disbelief and said, Hold on just a minute. I showed you 2 of God's own perfect creations and you turned me down. And he just flushed the toilet. How does that make sense? The angel shrugged and replied, Sorry, Dolly, but even in heaven, a royal flush beats a pair every time. Oh. That was a very, very long joke. Very long joke. I will only do the one. That was mega long. Otherwise, we'll run out too quick, and we can't have that now, can we? No, we can't. No, we can't. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be warm for a few more days yet, but we're going to start getting a few thunderstorms in and stuff along those lines. So you know what that means. It will start cooling down a little bit, possibly. Did I not? Oh, yes, I did do that one. Possibly, but not absolutely. It really depends on what side of the jet stream we are. So yeah, what did I do with my day? I was going to tell you, wasn't I? I said apart from talk and drink tea. This morning, I knew I couldn't get involved in anything because after they'd called, we knew that they were coming. And am I a bit pink? Sorry, I get a bit distracted. So yeah, we knew they were coming, but they were going to the arcades and everything first. So I thought, I need to work on things that I can drop, at a minute's notice. So I went through some of my old tutorials and then looked to see what languages they were being dubbed into and started making some thumbnails for those languages. So yeah, that's what I was doing. And I have yet to see if it makes any difference. But, if you don't try, you won't know, will you? So I wasn't too hot in bed last night, but apparently it was stifling, and it has been for days. And even once it starts to cool down, it's still going to be pretty hot at night, apparently, for a while, because it takes time for the country to kind of cool itself down properly. Anyway, wasn't really hot for me. Quite lucky that the back of the house doesn't really get mega hot, especially that room, because there's conservatories behind those rooms, and behind that room is a room which doesn't really get a lot of sun in it, so it doesn't ever really get really stifling hot in there. But all I do is I put the air conditioning on, get it really nice and cold, and go to bed. It lasts until I wake up. It's really good. So yeah, I don't get that uncomfortable, stifling sort of time. If I didn't have the aircon, I probably would get a little bit, but I would have what I used to do before we had that. I had a tower fan, which was a Dyson one, the quiet. So I used to put that on a slow setting, so it was the quietest possible, and I would be able to sleep through it. Like you can get used to most things, but it got to the stage where I couldn't sleep unless I heard it. So think, hang on, it's winter. Why have I got to put my fan on? Because I want the noise. I got so used to hearing that. It didn't seem right without it, but I've got used to it now. It's weird what you get used to, though, isn't it? Little comforting noises. Like when I was a child, I could not sleep in the dark. I was terrified of the dark. And now I don't like any light whatsoever in the room. I like it to be pitch dark. And sometimes the blind in here, because there's no door, it just comes straight through. If Lee leaves her outside light on, it's a bit bright for me, so I can pull the covers right up so I can't see it. But yeah, I could, even when I was younger, you used to get those clock radio alarms that would wake you up in the morning with music, and I used to have to put sweet wrappers over the actual clock part, because back then, if you had quality streets, you used to be able to undo them and you get this clear cellophane but lovely colours. And if you put, say, the purple one or the pink one over the display, it dulled it down really nicely. And I used to sellotape them on so I could see them without them being bright and annoying. I couldn't bear even the light of the clock. It was just dark. And I think it's because when we moved here, there was absolutely no light whatsoever sometimes. If you got the moon, then you did have a bit of light. But other than that, when it was dark, it was very, very, very dark. No street lights or anything like that. So I just got used to inky blackness, and I like it. Weird, because, when I lived in London, I couldn't bear, "Can you leave the London light on, please?" And I'd have to have the light coming in. Move here, suddenly it's like, I don't want the light on. Fickle, that's what it was, fickleness. Cheers, dears. This is beautiful stuff. So I got a bit fed up with my diet stalling a little bit. So I thought, what did I used to do to keep myself on track back in the day when I used to do this low carb business? And it was because back then I used to use MyFitnessPal, which was back then a much easier to use app than it is now. But it was good. It had kind of a planner that you could put all your food in. You could tweak it so you could have it display low carb rather than low fat. You could have it sort of tailor made for any diet you wanted, all the macros, and then it had sort of a social media aspect to it as well. So you got to know people and you could swap recipes and talk to them, and really enjoyed it back in the day. And so that I thought maybe I need to go back on MyFitnessPal, tweak it again so that it's good for low carb, and then plot what I'm eating, make sure I'm in the right calories ballpark, and all of my ratios are good. So I did. And that's what I did with myself yesterday, setting that up, and now I'm putting my foods in, and I was a little bit under my calories yesterday, but all of my other macros were great. So hopefully it'll start working a little bit better, you know. So yeah, where we thought we weren't going to be here, we are. So all is back to normal for the next few days, but we've still got a busy time coming up. Going to have some time out in Cornwall. Plus, I've got to have Harley for a weekend, and we've got to go see Victoria and Paul to give the car so that they can borrow a car. So it's pretty busy around here for the next, I'd say, three to 4 weeks. So I need to get some videos made and all that stuff, and get all the stuff I want to take on this little holiday washed. So yeah, we're going to Cornwall, and obviously I'll take you guys with me and show you the sights, which is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous there. So yeah, not much else to tell you today. I haven't really done anything apart from talk and drink copious amounts of tea. That's really all I've done with my morning so far, and making a few thumbnails, which is quite interesting. I'm kind of getting to know a few words of Portuguese, and I can't say Hindi and Arabic because I can't understand the words, but yeah, designing thumbnails and putting them on is quite interesting. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Let's have one last look at this yarn, shall we? Because although I showed you it, I didn't tell you much about it. And I think I'm getting a bit brown, on the arms. So this is Hobby Essential Streamers. It's back up to full price now. The offer is gone. So yeah, the 50 grams, 150 meters is a bit of a nonsense, because it just is. They say that on all of them, regardless of whether it's Aran, Chunky, or DK, and they can't all be the same. And I can't see one single colour. So I think then maybe they've given up calling it colours. 100% acrylic. Goodness, that's a horrible yarn band. It doesn't say anything. Blue. You don't say. It's blue. It's actually blue, light blue, medium blue, white, and silver. Those are all of the colours, but it's called blue. I suppose the most bright and vibrant colour is the blue. It's nice, isn't it? I like it. Kind of cool. So yeah, I had quite a bit of it, but I only bought 6. Anyway, thank you for watching. I did check out the shop next door to see if they had any decent stuff in the cancer research shop, and they did have some Pato stripes. I was tempted, but I didn't get them because, I don't need it, basically. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care. Bye for now.